Modeling the jug itself is surprisingly fast and simple, but the real highlight of today's tutorial is the technical process of mapping our unique artwork onto this 3D surface. I'll show you exactly how to achieve this professional, finished look, step by step. Let's get started. Start by creating a new general file in Blender, select the default cube and delete it, then add a single vertex. In Edit mode, switch your view to the -Y axis. Select the vertex and press E to extrude, moving it to begin the profile. Press E again to extrude and move it once more. Repeat this process 2 more times, pressing E and positioning the vertices as shown. This creates the basic profile of our jug. Adjust the vertex positions to refine the silhouette. You can press G to move a vertex freely, or press G followed by an axis, X or Z, to constrain the movement. Go to the Modifiers panel, select Generate, and add a Subdivision Surface modifier. This creates a smooth curve based on your vertex positions. Set the levels to 3 to get a clearer view of the jug's final profile. Select the 2 vertices at the bottom. Right-click and choose Subdivide. Select the new vertex and press N to open the side panel. Under Item, then Vertex, set the Z-coordinate to 0. This aligns it perfectly with the center vertex at the base. Continue refining the body by selecting Vertices and pressing G, followed by the desired axis. If you press G alone, you can move the vertex freely across the X and Z plane. Be sure to also adjust the top vertices to shape the neck of the jug. In the Modifier panel, add a Screw modifier to generate the jug's full volume. You can still move the original vertices at this stage to fine-tune the body and the neck opening. To give the object physical thickness, add a Solidify modifier. We'll use a negative value so the thickness grows inward. Set it to -0.03 to see the effect. If you rotate the view and notice the jug looks a bit faceted or blocky, we need more resolution. Increase the steps to 64 in both the viewport and the render settings for a perfectly round finish. Enable Scene Transparency to check the thickness. Let's increase it to -0.05 to make the walls a bit sturdier. If there is a small bulge at the center of the base, you can fix it by checking the merge in the Screw panel. Finally, rename the object to Jug. Switch back to Object mode and ensure your view is on the Y-axis. Add a cube and resize it into a thin cuboid. Position it near the neck for scale reference. Scale. Then switch to the X-axis view. Press S, then Y to significantly thin the object. Use G to move it away from the jar and R to rotate it. With transparency active, position the cuboid relative to the jug's wall. Switch to Edit mode and select the end face. Press E to extrude and R to rotate, repeating this to curve the handle downward. Use G to tweak the face positions as needed. Switch to Edge Selection mode to refine the shape. With the handle selected, add a subdivision surface modifier, set to level 2. Switch to Object mode to check the overall position. You can toggle the modifier off and use Edge Selection to scale edges inward for a more organic, tapered look. Then re-enable the modifier. Duplicate the handle and move the copy to a new scene collection. Hide this collection from the viewport and render. This is your backup in case you need to revert to the editable form later. Back on the main handle, apply the modifier in Object mode. Change the pivot point to the 3D cursor. With the handle selected, press Shift+D to duplicate, then right-click and mirror it across the global Y-axis to place the second handle. Now let's add color. Switch to the Shader workspace. Select the jug and open the Material panel. Create 2 material slots. Activate the bottom slot and click New. In the Shader Editor, press Shift+A to add a noise texture and a color ramp. Replace the default black and white markers on the ramp with 2 clay-like tones, one dark and one light. Connect the factor of the noise texture to the factor of the color ramp. Then connect the color output to the base color of the principled BSDF. Name this material Clay. Ctrl+C to copy all these nodes. Activate the top material slot. Paste the nodes here, replacing any existing ones. And name it Design plus Clay. To refine the look, set the Noise Texture Scale to 2 and Detail to 8. On the color ramp, move the dark stop to 0.3 and the light stop to 0.6. Apply these same settings to the base clay material. In the Design plus Clay material, add an Image Texture node and a Mix Color node. Load your Pre-Columbian design file, drawn previously in Grease Pencil. If you don't have that design, see the previous tutorial where I show you step by step how to draw it using the Grease Pencil workflow in Blender. Place the Mix Color node between the color ramp and the BSDF. Connect the color ramp to slot A and the image texture to slot B. Connect the result to the base color. To prevent the design from tiling like a mosaic, change the image texture setting from Repeat to Clip. Connect the alpha output of the image to the factor of the Mix Color node. In the Modifiers panel for the jug, set the material offset to 1 and the rim to 1. In Object Mode, apply the Solidify modifier so we can unwrap the full geometry. Switch to the UV Editing workspace. In Edit Mode, use Edge Selection and Shift-click to select the vertical edges inside the jug. Open the UV menu and select Mark Seam. Now, switch to Face Selection. Select one face and press L to select the entire outer shell. Go to UV greater than cylinder projection. In the UV editor on the left, open your design image. The mesh will appear stretched. Press S, then Y to scale it until the design looks correct. Use G and Y to slide the mesh up or down, positioning the design strip just below the handles. Switch to the Modeling workspace. Press 0 on the number pad for the camera view. If you don't see the texture in the jug, it's because the solid view is active. That doesn't affect what we'll do. Open a second 3D viewport next to your camera view. In Object Mode, select the camera. Set the Transform Pivot Point to individual origins and adjust the camera position. Add a cube for the background and set its Z position to 1. In Edit Mode, delete the top, front, and side faces to create a corner backdrop. Scale it along the X-axis, S and then X. In Edit Mode, grab the top vertices and move them up, G, and then Z. Then move the bottom vertices along the Y-axis to create a floor. In Object Mode, rotate these faces -45 degrees and position them to frame the picture. Add a simple material to the background. Finally, select your light and change it to a point light. Move it to adjust the shadows. We aren't going for perfect realism here. Our goal was simply to master positioning a design on a curved surface. We'll explore advanced finishes in future tutorials. Render your view and save the image. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any questions or would like me to go into more detail, let me know in the comments. Subscribe to stay updated on my upcoming tutorials and help me create more content. Thanks for watching.